Hello, everybody. I'm Toby Shifsky. I'm the Vice President of Dearborn Real Estate Education. And I want to thank you for coming through the Dearborn Partner Webinar Series. Today, we have a very special guest, none other than Jamie Cash. Hello, Jamie.
Hi.
So I get the pleasure of being able to work with Jamie nearly every single day of the week here at Kaplan. But let me kind of tell you why she's here as the expert. And I'll give you a little bit of her background on her bio. And then we're going to jump right in and actually teach you how to do something on AI. All right. So Jamie comes to us with a career spanning about 20 years across real estate, event planning, marketing, and other things. But Jamie Cash brings a diverse skill set for work. For the past 7 years, she has been a key contributor to Kaplan, where she currently serves as the online community forum manager. That's the part where you go like a Reddit, but for real estate, and it's all about the career of real estate. And her high tech forward, kind of high tech forward minded mindset complements her hands on leadership style, as she is a quick adopter of new programs and a relentless seeker of process efficiency. And you should know that Jamie was tapped specifically for these skills in what she does at Kaplan. Currently, Jamie is enhancing her strategic expertise as she pursues a Master of Science degree in management and leadership and reflecting her commitment to continuous learning. When she isn't optimizing workflows or studying, she finds balance in the outdoors, enjoying the sunshine, working out, and spending quality time with her husband and three daughters. So, everybody, give a warm welcome to Jamie. And Jamie, thank you for being here.
Yes, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here today.
Absolutely. All right. So I am sharing my screen, and this is about reclaim your time and boost your productivity. One of the things we get from people who are running their own schools is there's a lot of time-consuming tasks that we do all day long, every day. And believe me, we look for these operational efficiencies all the time. And it's kind of the holy grail of AI is how do we make it more efficient? And I think that always comes down to the question when you run a school is how can I control my expenses? How can I control because every penny I save on expenses is money, right? That goes to the bottom line. And then also, a lot of our partners are entrepreneurs. And I know you're out there
Mhm.
and you're listening to this saying, that's me. I want to call the shots. I want to do my own thing. I want my own lifestyle. And we have seen some of our partners really kind of adopt technologies like AI, efficiencies, even maybe hiring outside resources to make their business easier to run to support a lifestyle that they want, which is maybe not, held into a strict regimen of having to show up every single day to the same location. We have a lot of partners who are running their schools remotely from all over the world.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so I could think they get excited about stuff like this. And then I think stuff like this also gives, the person who goes to the office every day, my office is in my house, but I go here every day and I'm kind of locked in here. I would like to find more efficient ways to do my work that I do every day, day in and day out. And I think that's what you're going to cover for us today.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's one thing we can all probably agree on is the one thing we would love to have more of in our day is just time.
Right on, right on. All right, so let's do this. I think you're going to take us through kind of I mean, because we all have these things that we do every day.
Mhm.
And we really call them, kind of these repetitive things that you
Right.
got to go get information here and you got to go here and you got to do this, you got to do this, but it's the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And I think what you're going to take us on is a little journey today to say, well, that could be solved really quickly. And
Right.
so why don't you go ahead and take it over and oh, in fact, while you get set up, I'm going to go ahead and post a poll. Okay. So we
Okay.
want to make sure we know who's all in the audience today. So everybody, please play along. I'm going to throw up a poll question. It really is, what's your role at your school? You're either the owner, an instructor, administrator, or starting a school. And you're not even in the business yet, but you're looking to it. And you're here today because you want to do it efficiently. So let's do this. If you could pick the answer that's the most correct answer. Okay, everybody, for you. So I've just launched the poll and I'll share these results. I always do with everybody. So take a moment to answer the poll and I'll share the results while Jamie gets ready to take over the screen. All right, here we go. In three, two, one, zero. And I'll share the results. I got 44% are owners, so almost half, right? 33% are instructors. Beautiful. We got 11% who are administrators. A lot of the people doing the tasks over and over day to day. And then there's also 11% of the people are starting a school. Good for you for being here. Once again, it's just one little note for everybody. If you need anything we cover, anything that you're interested in products, make sure you go to dearborn.com, the website. We continuously update all the available products on the website. We continue to give access to each and all the programs and services there. And so make sure that you're using dearborn.com as your resource for Dearborn. All right, let's do this. Go ahead, Jamie. Why don't you take it?
All right. Thanks, Toby. So today, as we said, we all would love more time back in our day. I would love to have more time back when I'm working and trying to get grad school in and having a family. Time is of the essence. So my whole thing is always, how can I be more efficient? So today we're going to learn how to get some more time back by building our own AI assistant. So the reality of it is that about 70% of our admin time is spent answering the same questions. We get the same student questions over and over, and this admin drift stops you from growing your enrollment and also improving your curriculum. So the solution is to create a gem. A gem is a custom AI that knows your school rules as well as you do. A gem is private. It only knows what you tell it, and it doesn't share your school's secrets with the world. It is accurate. It doesn't guess. If the answer isn't in the knowledge base that you give it, it says ask the director or whatever you tell it to ask. And it's efficient. It writes your emails, it writes your social posts, and it creates calendars for you in seconds. So, in order to build this, you're going to need three things. You need a role, which is the instructions. So you're going to tell it you are a helpful registrar. And then it needs a brain. So it needs a knowledge base. It needs your school handbook, a course catalog, frequently asked question PDFs, whatever it is that you want that gem to do, it's going to need knowledge in order to do it. So when you're actually building your own gem, you're going to want to gather that brain power ahead of time. So those PDFs of your student handbook, your course catalog, your state licensing handbook, etc., have that all on hand when you get to this step. And we'll go through the steps here in a minute. But I just wanted to preface that so that helps you kind of get that stuff done ahead of time. And then the third thing is a task. So it's the output. So you're going to be asking it to solve a problem. And I think we all can say we probably have some problems we'd like it to solve.
So I'm looking at this list. This seems like, I mean, this is pretty comprehensive. I mean, if you're running a school, you get questions all the time.
Right.
Right. We also know that a lot of students don't like to read, right? And so they will call. They get in. They're gonna send an email, right? They will, like you said, kind of come at you from all angles. And I think what we're gonna get into is how you're going to use AI, a certain AI. This is the Google AI, right? Chrome.
Yes. So
Okay.
this is through Google and this is their Gemini
Yeah.
product. So you'll go in with Gemini to create a gem within Gemini, and we'll go through all the instructions. But the reason I felt that this was important for you guys to know is because when I'm running the community, I'm getting the same questions over and over in the community. And as a community manager, I can reroute them to where that answer lives in the community. But unfortunately, when you're getting emails, you don't have that capability. So I think this building a gem for you guys is going to be an ideal tool.
Got it. So right now we have a community like a Reddit forum where people can go
Mhm.
ask their questions. There's big discussions. We have instructors that answer questions. And but by the way, this is at Kaplan where like the insurance business and the securities business and all the different businesses have their own forums. And like you said, it easily organizes questions and answers. But when you get most of the questions from students through emails, like you said, that's a one-click read oh my God, it's the same thing. Cut and
Right.
paste, drop the answer in, move on, right? And so what you're
Right.
saying is you can use AI, this gem, and or if you're using if you're using Claude or you're using, I mean, that you can, most of the other GPTs will let you create some sort of an agent or a gem
Right.
in order to do these tasks. So you're going to show them in Gemini, which is what we
Yes.
use inside corporate wise. And but they could probably apply this to other platforms too, right?
Correct. Yes. I chose Gemini just because one, it's one I'm familiar with, but also two, most people have a Google account, and this is available in your even personal Google account if you don't have a business Google account.
Ah,
So that's why I chose
and
Gem.
it can be on your email, right? In your
Right.
Gmail
Oh, yeah.
account. It's already there,
It's
essentially.
already there. Yep. You
All right.
just click on that, the six little dots in the top right corner of your email, and you'll drop down all the different options that you have with Google, and Gemini is one of those. So we're
Super.
going to go ahead and start building a gem. And step one is just that we're going to give it instructions. It needs to know what to do.
Okay, so this is what it looks like when you hit that little button, huh?
Yeah.
So we're giving your gem a name.
hmm
Wow. Rosa asks, do you have a Google Suite account to do build this, or can it just be a regular Google account?
You can do it through a regular Google account.
How about that?
Like I said, it might look a little different, like the steps might be in a little bit different order, but it's basically the same process.
Very cool. Ah, so what'd you do there? I see a bunch of stuff in there.
So this is where I'm putting in what I want the gem to do. We're giving it information about what it's responsible for, what it is, how it should act, how it should respond.
Okay, so you've made all these up uh,
hmm
ahead
Yep.
of
So I
time,
did this ahead of time, but here, one second.
and then you'll take us kind of through what some of those are.
Mhm.
Okay.
So this is where we add the brains.
Ah, is anybody else? Jamie, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So are you going to take us through these steps?
So this I did ahead of time so that we can just kind of watch it go through so we didn't have any technical issues.
Sure.
Um, so just kind of giving you an idea of the type of questions and the type of information it can give you based on the data that you uploaded. So whatever brains you gave it, it can pull out that information through the brains.
So how did you set the parameters then? I mean, we saw you do some stuff, but I didn't really hear what those were.
So in the instructions, you can tell it what you would like it to do and how you want it to operate.
And are you going to show us what you did for this one?
So that's the gist of how to make the gem. And once you have it set up, then you can go in and you can start playing with it. I'll give you guys, I have a PDF that we'll send out with the recording that gives you step-by-step instructions that also has the prompt that I put in to that gem so that you guys can just follow along and copy and paste that prompt. You can obviously edit it to how you would like to use it. If you wanted to have it do different things than what I suggested, you're more than welcome to change that. But at least it gives you kind of a place to jump off of. I was just asking it to be, my admin and give it information. I gave it information like my class schedule. I gave it the PSI handbook for Colorado. I gave it my courses that I'm offering in the next 6 months. All these different catalogs and things that are PDFs that I can give it to it as the brains, and then I can just go in and ask it questions and have it help me find different things. So that piece of it I think is huge. Let me share. I can actually share the tool with you. Hang on one second. So one thing I did this morning too was I was like, okay, I put in my class schedule for the last 6 months, but I wanted it to create a calendar showing all the upcoming classes in May. And the only reason I did this ahead of time is because I knew if I did it live, like something would break and it wouldn't work. So I wanted to show you guys what it looked like. So she just says, "Hi, I'm Jewel, and this is my May 26th class schedule." So it literally took seconds for this to come up. And now I have all my classes, what category, what time it's in, and you can see how many credit hours as well. So that's something that I can then come down here and export to Sheets, and then I can use it in any format that I want to for whatever marketing purposes I need it to. And then it also tells me what featured class highlights. It gives a little update of or a little synopsis of what each of those classes are. And then I asked it to please make the table above into a graphic so that I can post it on social media. And again, within seconds, I have this image that I can now put on social media. And it just took all that information above and put it in a fancy, cute little graphic. Literally, that's all I told it to do. And it managed to push this out. It's again, amount of brains you put in it helps it be able to develop more things more efficiently. So you can add up to 10 different types of files, whether it's a PDF, Word documents, Google documents, Sheets, Excel files, or you can even add videos. So I think that's super helpful.
Rosa had a question. Can you integrate your gem with other platforms such as a task management system or Outlook calendar or things like that?
Not that I'm aware of yet, but I'm sure give it a few days and you'll be able to, because that's how fast all this technology is changing. But not that I'm aware of yet, but doesn't mean it's not going to happen tomorrow.
Got it.
Um, Again, all of this is constantly changing. So if you're watching this video in like a month, the steps might be different because they're always updating this stuff. So
Yeah,
putting your,
oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
There's a good question there with Rosa, but when you say put it in an Outlook calendar, so Jamie's using this gem, a tool which is a part of Google, right? So it's
Mhm.
and basically housed in Chrome, and which is the Gmail platform, Chrome. And so there's an ecosystem there that probably allows it to work easier within that system as opposed to going
Of course.
outside it to Outlook.
Yeah.
So that's just a thought too. Like, yeah, and most of these
Yeah.
platforms will have their tools integrated into. They want you in their ecosystem. There are some efficiencies that you find staying within the ecosystem, though. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Of course. Yeah, it's a Google platform, so it's going to work better with all the Google tools. So, but
How
you can
much
take what you built within your gem and then you can apply it into those other areas.
Got it. So, question for you. So we didn't really see all the stuff that went into your gem. How many pages of information went into that gem? Like how many documents went in? Maybe like 5 documents, 10 documents?
Yeah, there was probably about 5 documents that I put in there.
And one document would be like the student handbook from the
Hmm.
testing provider, right? And
Right.
so you got the
Yep.
PDF of that, and you just load the PDF into the gem. There's a spot where it asks you for resources to
Your
point to.
knowledge base. Yeah.
Yeah, where's my
So
knowledge
in your
base?
knowledge base, you add in the PDF of like the PSI handbook. You put in your school handbook. You put in your school course catalogs. You put in pretty much anything, like I said, that you want it to be able to pull in as a resource later.
Can
So
that
if it's
point to a
something,
website?
it can't point to a website yet.
Okay. But
Again,
anything that you can have essentially in a PDF format, it can point to as the source of truth. Like this is where you
right.
pull the
Any
information
type of document or video it
or
can do.
video. Oh,
Hmm. hmm
typical. All right. So how
Yeah.
do I get it to, you're going to do
So
it?
putting it to work,
Yeah.
I kind of showed you how we can put it to work. It can draft emails to students. It can develop a calendar. It can develop social media posts, like I just showed you with that little image, like within seconds. Things that used to take minutes and hours now just will take you seconds. So this is really where you're now getting your time back. You're being able to draft an email within 10 seconds instead of 15 minutes. You're not having to go find all these different documents to get an answer to an email. They're all just in one place. And like I said, you can share these gems with your staff so that you can all be using the same gem. So it also cuts down on training a new employee because they're trying to find that answer and they might not know as well as someone that's been there for multiple years. Like off the top of their head, we can just reply, but someone that's new might not know that answer. So they could go into the gem and you can also, take that information and just find what they need within seconds.
Interesting. And
Um,
generate a YouTube video.
it doesn't quite do video yet. It's just getting really good at graphic images. Before they were really sketchy. Just like a few months ago, you'd ask it for an image and it would be like misspelled and like
Yeah, backward
weird.
letters and
Yeah,
numbers
and you're like,
upside down.
what is this? So it can't quite do that yet, but again, I would imagine that's like the next thing on the horizon. There are other AI tools that can help you with
Yeah,
video, just
yeah.
not this specific one.
Yeah, there are other
Um,
tools and out there that'll build those videos in a really quick
oh
mindset.
yes.
Uh, yeah,
Yes, you could create a YouTube video and upload that video to the gem. Definitely. Yes.
right
Good,
on.
good point, Sheila. So then the last part
Hey, can
is
I ask a
just
question? With your gem, when you talk about answering student questions, do you mean like the student can play in the gem, or like you can use your own gem and take the student's question, put it in, and get the answer?
right. Yeah, you're taking the student question and putting it in to get the answer. The student doesn't have access to the gem because it's just
Okay.
an internal
Yeah,
virtual
so
assistant
you've got
for.
it. It's always on
Mhm.
your inside your Gmail, or it's inside your Google Suite,
It's inside Gemini. Uh-huh. Yep.
inside
And that way
Gemini.
you can share it with your team and no one else has access to that. It's private, it's secure. It only knows your information that you're giving it. Um,
Got it.
so we wouldn't be an educator if we didn't give you homework. So
Yeah.
here's your homework. I'm giving you a 24-hour challenge.
It says
I would,
48 hours. Oh,
or
did you change?
48, sorry.
Wait a
48
second.
hour
I'm a
challenge.
student that takes all the time they could possibly have. So you said 48 there. Uh,
48-hour challenge. You're right. So I want you to go out and create your first gem. So download your student handbook as a PDF, download all those resources that you need as your PDFs, and then create your first gem. Use the instructions that we're going to send you. We'll email out that PDF on how to create a gem. It'll allow you to create your assistant in 5 steps
Yeah.
and then test it with hard questions that a student would ask you. And then you can launch it internally for your staff to use this week. These are all things that, if it breaks and it's not working, you can go back and tell it, you can change the instructions and say, hey, when this type of question is asked, this is the answer you should give. So there, you can always tell it what you need it to do and kind of refine that. There's
Yeah.
never going to be like the perfect gem the first time. You're going to always need to go in and kind of tweak those instructions a little bit. But once you kind of get it down, it just kind of starts to flow and it's easier and you can just use it daily.
So a couple questions. Michael asks, can you upload your school website link and have Jem pull that content to create content yet? I think
No, you can't use a website link yet,
not
but hopefully soon.
right.
Um,
But you could, I mean, realistically, could you? I suppose you couldn't. I don't know if it's smart enough to read a picture, but could you screen
yeah,
print
you'd
every page
have
of your website and feed it?
Yeah, I don't recommend that though because your website probably changes and it's going to miss different things and that'd be a lot of pictures and
Michael,
then
I would bet, Michael, within a year, you're going to be able to do that. You're going to be able to
oh
find it to an
yeah,
active
within the next 6 months I would guess
6 months.
because that's kind of the next sensible thing that it should be able to do.
And then Mark asks, when developing FAQs, will resource reference book page be part of the response? Uh,
No, but if you needed to know where it got that information, you can ask it, well, where did you find that? And then it'll cite the source.
oh,
Sometimes it will give you the source in like a little citation mark afterwards. And then you can click into that little paper clip and it does show you what source it pulled it up from. But not always does it do that. So if that paperclip isn't there to find out what reference it's getting that information from, you can ask it, well, where did you get that information? And then it'll tell you what document it pulled it from.
got it. And I bet you could maybe even go into the gem and be very clever and say, please cite the resource for all answers. I mean, I'm wondering if you
Yeah.
could do that.
Yeah. You can definitely give it those instructions. Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah. So that's kind of it. I mean, it sounds super easy and it sounds like too easy almost, but it really is. I mean, it really is pretty simple. Google's done a great job of making this a very easy tool, a very entry level. Like, I am not a coder, I am not a programmer, I know nothing about that stuff. I love technology, so I'm willing to jump in and learn it. But to me, learning to use Google, Gemini, and creating a gem has just helped tremendously in my day to day. It helps me create content calendars every month. I'm like, okay, we're doing a real estate community for students going through their real estate program. What kind of content should I post about? And it will spew out an entire calendar within seconds. That used to take me hours to think of. So, and again, you can go in and edit everything it gives you. So if you didn't like one of the suggestions, you can put your own in there. So it
Yeah.
just really cuts down on a lot of the day-to-day things that we tend to take up a lot of our time and really kind of makes you more efficient at your job.
Question for you before we stop, because I do have another poll question for everybody, because I'm really interested about those of you who are on here who, what are you currently using? But while I put the poll question up, uh, uh, I have a question for you, Jamie Cash, on what if some of the information's outdated? How do I update like a PDF? Like I had to pull my old school catalog out and put a whole new school catalog in. Well, how would I do that?
Yeah, let me show you.
Once again, the poll question is, are you using AI for operational efficiency already? And the answer, the possible answers are, I have not tried it yet, just a little. I use it daily, or I've hired outside services to employ AI to do it for me. Super interested to see if anybody's doing that yet. It's just at a conference, Jamie, where walked out of the big, conference ballroom where everybody's inside talking about how important personal relationships are. And I go out into the, into the exhibit area, and 18 of 20 vendors are AI companies saying, I can do your
Mhm.
job. I can help you do your job. In fact, we don't even need you anymore. We can do your job. But AI, AI, AI. And I'm just wondering if anybody's employing any of those services yet to do it better. Um, but okay, so I've got the poll results. I'll go ahead and share the poll results for everybody. But okay,
Yeah,
Jamie, take us through.
curious. Curious to see what they say. No one's doing outside yet.
Now, I've not
We're
tried it
good.
yet, 38%, just a little, 25%. I use it daily, 38%. You got some power
Great.
users on here. I
That's
have
great.
nobody's used an outside service yet. All right, so you're going to show us how to update?
Yes. So if you'll go to the three dots in the top right corner of your gem, it allows you to edit it. Also, this is where you also share it. So if you wanted to share it with your staff, that's where you would share it. But you
Cool.
can edit your gem at any time. So again, this is where I put her name in, her description, and then the instructions. So if I needed to change the instructions because the gem's doing something funky, this is where I can come in and say, okay, that didn't make sense. I need to reword how I did that. And again, like I said in the video, if you click on this, it will actually translate what you put in there into how it likes to see it better. So it can kind of help you format those instructions a little bit better. So that's like the GEMS tool to help you. But this is again the knowledge base back here. I only have 5 documents in here, so PDF and 3 Word docs or Google Docs. But
And loading that in is as easy as just hitting the plus sign.
yeah, and taking it out is just as easy. I just click that X and it's gone.
Wow.
And then it's never using that document again. And then I can upload a new file.
Ah,
And from there, it then uses that tool. And then you'll just click up here to click update, and she's ready to go with the new information.
how cool is that? Okay, so can we go and ask it a question and have it give
Yeah.
an answer?
Hmm.
I'd love somebody to chat in a question, like if what's a student question you get that you'd like this gem to answer that you would normally spend a little time looking for? Anybody on the chat want to throw a possible question in the chat?
So
Can you?
Anna asked if you can upload the gem into your Google Classroom. You can share the gem in your Google Classroom. So you can share that link there, and then it would take them back into Gemini to actually use the gem. You can't use the gem from Google Classroom. You have to be using it through Gemini, but you can share that link in your Google Classroom to then be able to use that gem in Gemini.
Oh,
How
there you
many
go.
questions are on the PSI exam? Um,
The school operator's like, oh my God, I get
we
these
never
questions.
get that
Um,
question.
yeah, ever
I mean,
get
how
that
many
question.
times have we put this in their information and they just kind of miss it? So,
Seriously,
um,
it's already in their handbook. It's already in their,
Anna
welcome
just
to your
answered that question
school.
yesterday.
Yeah,
So within seconds, again, I only have the Colorado information in there because that's what I'm familiar with. So I knew for sure that it was right. But this is what it breaks it down. You can export this to Sheets. You can copy and paste that table into an email. And then important details for the test day would be here's some experimental questions, your time management, tutorial results, etc. So again, you can go down here, copy that response, paste it into an email, done.
how cool is it?
Seconds within like, oh my God, where in the PSI handbook do I find this again?
Yeah.
Especially if you're
Because
new and you just
how
don't.
many questions are there on math in the
Let's see.
licensing exam?
Let's ask. How many questions are math related?
We all know, like the thing that puts the fear of God in students is math. 70% of them.
6% are real
Wow.
estate calculations. 5 questions on national, 10 items related to closing and settlements around the states, basically prorations, which everybody freaks out about. And I'm like, you've all had a gym membership, like at some
Yeah.
point, or some like to something that you've done a proration for. You just didn't
Yeah.
know that's what it was called. But yeah,
And
within
here's
seconds.
and here's a really cool thing. Could your students go to their own Chat GPT or Gemini and ask this question, and could it possibly go find the Colorado exam provider? They'd have to say, check the Colorado PSI exam provider. I mean, they'd have to know
Hmm.
how to ask the right question, but they're clearly coming to you as the expert, right? And so here's
Correct.
your
Correct.
opportunity to give them an expert question, an expert answer to a specific question, because you know where the source of truth is. It's those items that you've loaded as here's your knowledge base, right? And so you get to still be the expert, or your
Right.
staff
Right.
does, or somebody does say, hey, use this and talk to our students, make sure communications happen daily. And here's a tool for you to do that. And it just gets better the better the
Yeah.
information is that you put into the Gemini
Exactly.
Gem tool. Yeah, so
Exactly.
super cool. Super cool.
Yep.
Uh, all right. Well, I tell you what, this has been fantastic. Everybody, you're going to get a great resource from Jamie. Dearborn, our goal is to make sure you're successful with your schools. Everything that we can do to help you be bigger, faster, smarter, stronger, we want to be a part of. And so Jamie's going to go ahead and send out a PDF with everything in it that she put in. So you can even have a model questioning and answers to play with. Make it your own. Take it. Uh, Super cool, Jamie. Oh, what is this you're showing now? I'm about ready to wrap up.
That's the PDF.
Oh,
That's
that
the
is the
PDF
PDF.
that you were just talking about. Yeah.
Wow, super cool. All right. So you will all get the PDF, and I want to say thank you. Thank you, Jamie, for sharing your
You're
knowledge.
welcome.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys for coming today. We love having you and helping you gain some knowledge to make your business more successful.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Have a great day.